Welcome to Roofing Road Trips, the podcast that takes you on a thrilling journey across the world of roofing. From fascinating interviews with roofing experts to on-the-road adventures, we'll uncover the stories, innovations, and challenges that shape the rooftops over our heads. So fasten your seatbelts and join us as we embark on this exciting roofing road trip.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Roofing Road Trips from Roofers Coffee Shop. My name's Karen Edwards, and in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the growth in metal roofing and how Sherwin-Williams is stepping up to help contractors get into this market, and if they're already in this market, to grow their businesses. And to help with this conversation today, I'm thrilled to welcome Brendan McGinnis and Heather McGinnis to the podcast. Welcome, guys.
Hello, Karen. How are you?
Oh,
Hi,
I am
Karen.
good. Hi, Heather. It's great to see you. We had a little difficulty getting online all together, so it really is great to see you guys. We were struggling there, but here we are. And I'd like to start out just by introducing yourselves and tell us what you do there at Sherwin-Williams. And Brendan, how about you get us started?
All right. My name is Brendan McGinnis. I am the OEM program manager for MetalVue and Roofing Passport. I've been with Sherwin for 7-ish years now. Started in the R&D and chemistry side of things here in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and then moved along to MetalVue when the opportunity arose.
Excellent. Well, thanks for being here today. Heather, what's your story? What do you do there?
Well, I'm Heather McGinnis, and I'm the contractor sales rep for the MetalVue program. I've been with Sherwin about 30 years, and I'm currently located in Dallas, Texas. I started out as a customer service rep in one of the facilities in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Moved to Texas about 6 years ago now, and I've been part of the MetalVue program for 3 years. So I'm super excited to be here with you and Brendan today.
Yeah, and if when I was reviewing my notes before we hopped on the podcast, and I thought there was a typo because I was like, wait a minute, Brendan McGinnis, it says Heather McGinnis. I'm like, they have the same last name. So I have to ask, you guys are related, right?
Just a little.
We are.
That is my older sister, Heather. So as you heard, she's been here or in the company for 30 years. I've been around 7. So a few years back, I was working in a different job and looking for something different. And she had just moved to Texas. And, I hit her up and was like, I was working in laboratories, still doing something completely different, but kind of related. I was actually working in food service and like a corporate chef, and hit her up and was like, is there anything available at Sherwin-Williams? She's like, I think there's available in the lab, and went and turns out making paint and cooking are very similar in a lot of ways, where you're just mixing ingredients together to try to create a final result, and it ended up being a great fit for me.
Wow, that's fantastic. Heather, what's it been like working with your little brother?
Well, it's awesome, especially since we don't live near each other anymore. We're about 700 miles apart. So I at least get to see his face every day. And we connect on a lot of different levels, both personally and professionally now. And with the age difference between the two of us, it's been really cool because we're really good friends now, which is a benefit that I probably didn't see coming, but I really enjoy it.
I love it. Yeah. 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 Out of all the people that work for Sherwin-Williams, the fact that you two both landed in MetalVue and Roofing Passport, the stars aligned. It was meant to be. So this is
Yeah.
real exciting. So let's talk a little bit about metal roofing. And we're seeing that the demand from consumers for metal roofing just continues to rise every year. What do you guys think is fueling the growth of metal? And why is it important that contractors consider adding it to their offerings?
So a lot of data has come out in the past few years, especially concerning metal roofing, just because of the interest that's coming about. So the Metal Construction Association has found that the actual demand for metal roofing has grown from 11% of all jobs to 14% in just the last 5 years. So that's a significant increase when you look at all of the metal roofing availability jobs that are out there as far as the re-roof market goes. So a lot of the key drivers that we found are the lifespan of the material, the ability to customize. So the aesthetics of the roof are very important to homeowners. And then, of course, the performance implications. So sustainability and longevity of a metal roof, it is helping fuel the fire for the homeowner in decisions on re-roofing projects. the ability for them to customize the exterior. You have a color palette in mind. Coated metal roofing is very appealing for replacement in that segment. And then the warranty implications and the structural integrity, of course, are fueling the demand against asphalt. So there's a lot of growth opportunity there based on the increased availability that we're seeing through distribution channels. And of course, homeowners becoming more familiar with metal. The more you see, the more you want. Contractors should be preparing for this increased demand just because it can help them grow their business and their opportunities. And it's an upsell to the market that they're currently servicing if they're not currently selling metal.
Yeah, Brendan, what are you seeing?
Yeah, I think a big thing that we're looking at is with changing weather patterns across the United States. I think a lot of homeowners are getting really tired of the status quo, where asphalt, has always kind of been there and been the thing that we've all done with. Well, if you live in North Texas or Oklahoma and you have hailstorms coming through every couple of years that are wreaking havoc on your roof, you're getting real tired of having people climb up on your roof and replace your shingles every time a storm comes through. There's a lot of that. If you're looking out in Florida or California, hurricanes, fires, these are all things that traditional asphalt roof doesn't really hold up well against, where a metal roof is considerably better in all aspects of weathering and fire resistance than your typical asphalt roof. So I think we're seeing a shift from the consumer perspective where they're kind of tired of dealing with the replacement of an asphalt roof. And then where we can also look at it where in a perfect world, right, a perfect asphalt roof that doesn't have any kind of implications of outside wear, outside, impacts, realistically, they're going to last 12 to 15 years. Realistically, a metal roof is going to last 40 years, and that's just the color, right? That's just the coating that's on the outside of it. You're going to have to replace that asphalt roof 3 to 4 times within the life of a metal roof. And that's just not something that homeowners have a lot of appetite for when they're buying a forever home. So if you're buying a home that you plan to be in for a while, you don't want to replace that roof over and over and over again, metal roof's your choice. So I think there's just a lot of appetite changing in the homeowner market. And I think that contractors and, from my perspective, metal manufacturers are really there to pick up the pieces and make that change.
Yeah, I like what you said, Heather, about the customization because, in the world of asphalt shingles, sure, they've got 8 or 10 different patterns, but they kind of all look the same, right? Maybe it's gray, maybe it's a darker gray, maybe it's brown, maybe it's a little bit lighter brown. But with metal, we're talking, it's almost limitless, right? Can you just talk a little bit about that customization more?
Yeah, absolutely. There are so many color options available within the metal space. If somebody can dream it, we can create it, right? There are pigments that are every color of the rainbow, and the combination of those makes all the customization in the world possible. The other thing that we should mention along that is there is a lot of standard colors out there. So you're going to have easier availability for these standard colors, but there are so many more options within those standard colors than there are within asphalt, of course. And you get a lot of participation in what we have called the SureColor program, where our OEMs and our manufacturers will allow us, Sherwin, to match whatever colors they're carrying so that a homeowner is able to customize even further. If they want to paint their shutters, if they want to paint their door, if they want to paint their garage door the same color as their roof, we have a program that allows them to do that. So all those colors are available and already out in the Sherwin-Williams Paint Stores group. So it's a very customized look. Even people that are doing barn dominiums now, they'll be able to match that same color on their barn dominium outside walls, not just their roof. So metal as a whole is growing, and the customization is endless with that.
It is, we've done some podcasts with your color experts, Bryn and Kiki, and
Absolutely.
it's just fascinating to me and beautiful. So there's a plug for that. You can go look that up on our site and listen to that to learn all about color. But it reminds me, Brendan, like you said, food, all these colors and patterns and styles, it really is kind of a recipe for beauty.
Yeah, that's exactly what my background is in. So when I was working in the lab here in Bowling Green, Kentucky, my title was a color matcher. So we would take literally anything that customers would send in. I think the weirdest thing that I ever matched was someone sent me a purple spoon, and I created a a paint system in the color of that purple spoon. I don't know what they were using it for, but it was in our Weather Excel product. But I matched their purple spoon, and I think they ended up purchasing that. So it's very customizable. And the cool thing is like even within that, talking about the standard colors that Heather was referring to, when you think of standard colors in roofing, you do tend to think of the asphalt color palette where you've got brown, browner, brownest, gray, black, lots of earth tones, maybe a green here or there. But if you go look at any of our manufacturers' color palettes, you're going to have those colors, but you're also going to have reds, greens, blues. So the depth of customization is just considerably more in this space.
Excellent. Okay. So if contractors are listening to this and they don't currently offer metal, what are some of the reasons that you recommend that they add it to their offerings? And what are they missing out on if they don't?
Well, the $1 million question is the $1 million question. It's margin. Margin is great in metal, and it has to be because it is a product that is not designed to be replaced over and over again. So this is a opportunity for you to make margin on one job and service that customer and make a name for yourself. And one thing that we've really found, not just through data, but actually seeing it in person, there's a really big trend of kind of keeping up with the Joneses in the metal space. So if you manage to get into one neighborhood and get this beautiful standing seam roof on a home, it's probably going to happen that someone down the street's going to get one, and then someone else is going to get one. And then it really positions contractors to be, especially in small to mid-sized towns where there's not a lot of competition in the metal roofing space, really allows them to establish themselves as the authority for that kind of thing in their area.
Yeah. Are you seeing this happen, Heather?
Absolutely. Texas is huge on metal roofing, of course, and for all the benefits we've already talked about, right? We have hailstorms all the time. I mean, there's not an off season for hail here in Texas. And we're starting to see more and more interest. I live in a lake area. People are super interested in putting these metal roofs on their homes that they've had on their boat docks for years and years and years. So they're starting to see the dependability, the reliability, the sustainability, and the way that these metal roofs on their boat docks have held up, and now they're wanting that on their home. So I'm seeing it a lot here. Building in neighborhoods now is starting to make a turn where we're even seeing new construction with metal roofs now, not just barn dominiums, but new, say, a brick home with a metal roof on top. And it's beautiful, looks glorious. But back to Brendan's point, it's kind of that keeping up with the Joneses things. You see it and people drive by and they're like, oh, wow, that looks really good. So I'm going to have to replace my roof soon. So let me look into metal. So for contractors in that space, I mean, it's super beneficial to be able to offer that alongside asphalt. And, that we're seeing huge growth in that space and where people are turning to metal just for all the reasons that we've mentioned here before.
Are you seeing, I know in one of the, I wouldn't say challenges, but it could be a lot of neighborhoods and communities have homeowners associations. And sometimes, they kind of are set in the ways. The neighborhood was established 25, 30 years ago. They say asphalt shingles are what you have to use on your roof. Are you seeing more homeowners associations being open to having metal roofs in their community?
Absolutely, we are, and that's something that we're actively out there pushing for with our marketing department. And I think a big part of that has been the advent and introduction of the stamped metal shingle to the portfolios of a lot of these places. If that's not something contractors are offering, it's definitely something you should look into. There are several manufacturers that we have out there that are offering these things, and they are the cheat code to cracking HOAs with metal roofing. Because if you get a stamped shingle roof with one of the Sherwin-Williams crinkle finishes on it, especially the black or charcoal gray, it looks a lot like an asphalt shingle, but it performs exactly like a metal roof.
Excellent. Okay. So Sherwin-Williams created, I mentioned this at the beginning, the Roofing Passport to help contractors simplify selling, estimating, and installing. And I'd like to explain for our listeners what exactly is Roofing Passport and how does it help contractors overcome these challenges?
So what we did several years ago when I joined the MetalVue program, there was already the investigation and the looking for the reason why contractors weren't selling metal. So we were challenged with going out and getting more market share for our coil coatings. That's what it boiled down to. Where can we go out and where can we obtain new business and have new business growth within coil coatings? So in talking to contractors, what we found out is that they were not upselling metal with asphalt for the most part because of things like not understanding the market, being hesitant on installation, not knowing how to install it. It is a very custom product, as we've talked about before. You can't just return metal if it's cut wrong, or you can't just go back and order more metal if you don't have enough. So the problem is in bidding and estimation was the big drawback. So with bidding and estimation, we developed software that Sherwin-Williams owns called the Roofing Passport. And within that, what you're able to do as a contractor is you're able to bid with confidence because you can ingest data or you can input data into the Roofing Passport that will give you a takeoff, a cut sheet, all your parts, all your pieces, all your screws, your fasteners, all your accessories, your trim, everything in one package so that you have the confidence to bid that job and know that it's going to be accurate and know that it's going to be what your customer, what your homeowner is looking for, but you're able to turn that in a reasonable amount of time and not have to wait for somebody to get up there, take all those measurements, come back, do all the math. And then by that point, if you're in a competitive market, you've lost your ability there to get ahead because you've not the first person that comes to market with that bid. So Roofing Passport was developed to kind of fill in that gap and help contractors be more confident in bidding on metal roofing.
Excellent. And you are partnering with some trusted names and brands to power things like the estimating and getting the material list. So these are names that contractors probably are working with anyway every day in their, yeah.
We are directly integrated in Roofing Passport with EagleVue. EagleVue is, of course, an aerial geometry company, and we partnered with them because they have the most accurate data in the industry. So a lot of these guys use drones or satellite imagery. EagleVue flies planes, and what these planes allow them to do, it allows them to fly crosshatch and get multiple angles. But what it also allows them to do is fly much lower altitude than satellite imagery. So this allows that data to be much, much more accurate. So when you're getting a report back from EagleVue as a contractor right now, what you're typically going to see is a premium EagleVue roof report. And within that report, they're going to round everything to the nearest foot because that is plenty of accuracy for an asphalt roof. Well, what we're going to do, we're actually going to ingest the raw data from EagleVue in their XML file, which is much more accurate down to fractions of an inch. And that's what we're going to use to then generate a takeoff. So with EagleVue, you've got the ability to just put in an address, and that will create a material takeoff from that. Or with our other partner at Roofing WRX or Roofing Works, they allow you to upload blueprints, plans, and drawings. That is always so hard to say.
It always is. Always.
Blueprints, plans, and drawings, and they will then in turn create an XML file that we can ingest. So without ever leaving your desk, without ever doing any real kind of math or computation, all you need is an address or a blueprint or a sketch on a napkin that you've done that you can upload into our system. And within hours, you will have a full material takeoff returned back to your inbox.
Yeah, that's pretty powerful. When the aerial measurement companies first came out, like you said, they are great for asphalt, because you got the wiggle room and people were very leery of metal. But as the technology has improved and just gotten better and better, and the imagery has gotten better, it really is precise. And, that's really cool that you guys are putting this in there. So estimating, we've got that down. We've got accuracy. We've got the list. What about selling? Because, contractors who are selling asphalt, what does that look like for them to be able to, learn the selling points of metal? Are you guys working with them as well through Roofing Passport?
Yeah, so through the MetalVue program as a whole, Roofing Passport is just a piece of the pie. So we identified other things, like you say, that contractors weren't comfortable with, and selling is one of those. So we have developed tools that go along with our whole process as far as helping them learn how to sell metal against asphalt or with asphalt. There are training videos out there on selling that we have developed that we are glad to share with the contractors. There are also tools and decks that we are glad to share with the contractors to help them with selling metal alongside asphalt. There are other pieces to MetalVue as a whole besides Roofing Passport. We partner with John Sheridan at Sheridan Tools for installation training because we found that contractors were not confident in installation versus asphalt installation. Then we also partner with people for lead generation. If you're looking to get leads in your area, we partner with people like RenoWorks. RenoWorks is the software that will visualize what your roof is going to look like on your home. You can have RenoWorks in your home while you're selling and take a picture of that person's home and actually put a metal roof on it for them to see. So visualization there with RenoWorks. So it's a whole toolbox, and it's like pieces of the pie that we can put together and really customize for each individual contractor, really, depending on what their needs are. Roofing Passport is the driver of MetalVue. It is the functionality that advances the selling of metal. But there are all these other parts and pieces in this pie that if people are interested, we have them. We've done the research. We've done the homework. We've partnered with the best people in the industry to give you the things that you need, including selling tools, installation training, visualization, lead generation, all the things that if you need it as a contractor, we've got it for you and we can point you in the right direction.
Yeah, you made it easy, right? It's one place to go from a trusted brand, Sherwin-Williams, that's been in this industry for years and years and years. I want to just touch on, and you may have mentioned it, Brendan, but I think it's important when a customer is, you know, we live in this era of I want it now, I need it now. When I buy something online, I want same day delivery or at least next day. So talk to me a little bit about when they do get a lead from a customer, how quickly are they able to turn that around and get an estimate or proposal back to a homeowner?
In the grand scheme of things, one of the big goals that we had here is to shorten the sales cycle with metal roofing. And going back, this whole industry has grown to the point where it's at off the back of taking orders, right? Historically speaking, if you were going to get an install job for a metal roof, a homeowner called you and said, "Hey, I want a metal roof." Cool, let's start the problem or start the ball rolling there. With asphalt, a lot of times it's reactionary, right? It's something has happened or it's finally time to replace this. So you'll go into the home, a contractor can go into their home and discuss this new roof with a homeowner. And if metal is brought up, they wouldn't be able to talk about metal on that first call from a price standpoint because they haven't sent anybody up to measure. They haven't gone to their manufacturer to create a takeoff. It's a whole process. And usually that's days, if not weeks, depending on how busy that manufacturer is, to get that quote turned around for you. So with MetalVue program, we're wanting to pair contractors directly with manufacturers who are within our program. And what that's going to allow them to do through Roofing Passport access, they can then run a report for that home before they even make that first sales call, so that they can go into that home with a bid for an asphalt roof as a good or better, and a bid for a metal roof as a best option for that homeowner. So with that good, better, best, you give them options, you give them the ability to choose something that is ultimately better for their home long term. And you can sell that to them on the back of the, how much better of a substrate metal is. And these contractors, they make a great living selling asphalt. Adding a new vertical with metal to their portfolio is always something great because it's a differentiator. But it's also giving them the ability to, in a lot of markets, be the first ones there and catch on to those tailwinds that are coming with this changing of the guard in this space.
Yeah. Yeah. So how does a contractor get started? I'm listening to this. I'm like, wow, you guys really have made this easy. I want in. What do I do?
Well, the easiest way right now, MetalVue, METALVUE. Just plug that into the Google machine. It will literally be the first thing that comes up. If you scroll down to the bottom of that page, after you read all the wonderful information that we've given for you, there will be a contact us form, and that contact us form will end up directly in both Heather and I's mailbox.
Wow. Easy, huh? And then what
I
happens?
would tell you the website, but it's like 7,000 characters long. And
Oh, yeah.
just Google
Yeah.
Metal.
Yeah.
It says
So
it there by my name.
once you get that email, what should the person expect?
We'll either, if you are a manufacturer, you'll hear from me. If you're a contractor, you'll hear from Heather. We'll want to set up some time to demo the program for you, to talk about your needs, your wants, how you're wanting to progress. Because this isn't a one size fits all thing. It's a toolbox. You can reach in and grab whatever you want. We can assess your needs. We can look at, where your business is at and where you want to be, and make some decisions there. And with all these great partners that we've come to terms with, we can point you to where you need to go. Heather said it best. We've done the homework. We know who's the best in the industry, and we want to get you connected with those people without you having to take time away from growing your business to do so.
Right. Wow. Yeah, you've made it so easy, and I love the customizable, like you mentioned. We're talking about the metal roofs themselves being so customizable. Well, so is this program. Depending where you are in your business, pick what works for you, right?
Choose your own adventure.
I like it. Heather, any last thoughts to add?
No, come see us at RCAT in September. If you're in Texas, I'd love to meet anybody new, anybody that's interested. We'll be doing demos there. Also have some fun things going on. So stop by our booth if you're at RCAT in Texas in September. I think, Brendan, you're going to MetalCon?
MetalCon in October, Las Vegas, Nevada. Come see me.
Nice. Yes, you can see it in action. And if you can't make it to any of those events, you can, like Brendan said, just visit the website, or there's a full directory on Metal Coffee Shop and Roofers Coffee Shop for Sherwin-Williams and the MetalVue program, so that you can check it out there. And there's links with how to get in touch with everybody. Heather, Brendan, thank you so much for being here today. This was such a great conversation, and I love what Sherwin-Williams is doing to help contractors succeed in metal. It's fantastic.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you to the coffee shops for giving us this platform to talk to.
Yeah. And thank you everyone out there for listening. We encourage you, please subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform, because we want to see you on a future episode. We'll see you next time. Bye.
If you've enjoyed the ride, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join us on every roofing adventure. Make sure to visit RoofersCoffeeShop.com to learn more. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next roofing road trip.